Let me introduce Brian. I met Brian through LinkedIn via a networking group. I saw some posting on LinkedIn as part of our community, a guy called Edzia, and Karen's part of that group as well. And I just commented on the post and I went, I need to meet this guy. He's got a nice flair, bit of energy. I like what you were posting. We had a nice conversation online and I went, when we were talking about the exercise, I just saw this glow and excitement and this passion. And I went, can we bottle that and bring some over to this side of the world? And yeah, so that's how it all evolved, guys.
Introduce myself. Lovely to meet you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Helen. It's been great to meet you, find out about you, and thanks for giving me a chance to chat. And hopefully, I'll inspire some people with some ideas about my passion. And I'm sure you guys have heard, or you all have your ideas about what a personal trainer might be like, or a PT or a coach. Well, what makes me different from those guys? Well, unlike m most coaches, my goal is not only to give you your dream physique at whatever age you are at, but also to make sure you're healthy, increase your athletic performance, help you become pain-free and happy in the process. I have a signature model that helps create changes to your lifestyle, your schedule, and your goals. And I work closely with people to help fit those things into their busy schedules. I have a lovely little mini presentation, and I'm going to take you guys through that. But first, I'll chat a little bit more about me. I'm married, been married for the last 12 years. Um, I'm 40 now. I met my wife when I was 22, and we have four kids, four sons, 11, 9, and we have twin boys. We did try for a girl, but we got twin boys. So all fit, all healthy. We're really
That's
grateful,
it.
and I think that is it. That's definitely going to be it. I can't imagine another one coming out and going through all the nursery lifts and the different things. But at the same time, there's a little person inside us going, "You need a girl," So, but I don't think so. So I'm a really active dad. I always played rugby. I know rugby's a big thing in Australia. Uh, I retired from that. I still play the odd game, but I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a non-striking martial arts. They call it BJJ. Uh, Although you're not striking, there's lots of grabbing and pulling and grappling, and basically you roll around the floor, uh, trying to submit somebody to make them tap out. And what I've loved about this, because a lot of people when they give up their sport, they go a little bit stale inside and they lose that person, maybe who they were. I know my mom used to play hockey, and when she stopped playing, she didn't replace that with something, and you kind of lose that little passion you have inside you. Well, with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've kept up the contact, I've kept up learning, and I'm learning all the time at how to become better and how to submit people. So I'm teaching my kids that. I bring them to class. They're also big soccer players. Uh, I sprint and I am really into mobility. So, I want to look, I want to move, and I want to feel better. And, when I studied nutrition at university, I just became obsessed with how I can use nutrition to help people, but also, my underlying passion of like moving better, becoming stronger, becoming fitter, and just adding that to your lifestyle makes such a difference. And then I created my own model, and it helps you get in shape, become strong, overcome pains, and increase your mobility. So, what is mobility? Mobility is being strong in flexible positions. Where you might hear of flexibility, you might be flexible, but you might not be that strong in that position. Well, mobility is being strong in flexible positions, and that's the real difference of it. So I started to create systems, and I started to create different ways you could add this into your exercise or add it into your lifestyle. Uh, and I wasn't always like this. I used to, I used to be stiff as well. I was always a little bit athletic, but there comes a period where you kind of maybe lose that. I became stiff. I was getting injured all the time. And I became quite miserable because I didn't feel I was given what I could to my sports, and I wasn't giving my best. And actually, it was funny because I was about to get a flight from George Best Airport. That's in Belfast. Now, George Best is seen, it's our claim to fame, maybe. He was seen as one of the best soccer players, football players of the whole world, of his generation. And anybody who's into football or soccer will know who that is. Anyway, I walked past the airport sign and I saw Best, George Best, and I was thinking to myself, am I actually giving my best? And I wasn't. So I immediately went and signed up to mentorship. I invested into myself. I learned how to make these changes to my lifestyle. I got a physio mentor as well, who I became really friendly with, and he taught me about mobility and how to use this to help people. I was in the position to do that as I just started coaching, while he would have people come to him, pay him for the hour, and then they went away and they never did anything they were told to do. Well, I was able to teach them to do stuff outside of their time with me. So this was really great. I then learned how to coach people on scale, and I managed to get some clients in Australia and America, and I became then worldwide with it, which has been absolutely amazing. Becoming self-employed and being able to use that to my advantage and for my lifestyle. So the changes that I made to people, some of the things they've said is like their body doesn't feel like their body anymore, that all of a sudden their muscles have woken up, they're moving differently, they have a spring in their step, they are loving life, as they might say, and instead of maybe sitting in awkward positions or sitting for long periods of time, it's quite funny, but they're taking themselves to the ground while they're watching TV or when they're out and they're sitting with their legs crossed, all these things that kind of disappeared from their lifestyle. And they've started to put their mobility first. And when you do that, you start to feel more mobile, your aches and pains. They might not ever completely go away, but you learn how to manage them better and how to just do a few things that might wake you up, make you feel better, and you can do it at any point of the day. And that's how I started to add this into people's lifestyles. At the same time, people wanted to lose weight and they wanted to maybe become stronger. So I then learned more about weight loss, and I used my nutrition to help me back that up there. Uh, I've went on then and I've helped people really make massive changes to their life, lose loads of kgs, so kilograms or pounds or stones. I'm not sure what you guys work with over in Australia, but body fat, become mobile at the same time, become more athletic, and just have a whole new lease of life. So, uh, some of the frustrations is kind of, you wake up and you're stiff and maybe you're a bit sore. And a lot of people just sometimes put that down to getting older or old age. And then when maybe you speak about it, they're like, oh, yeah, there's nothing can be done. It is what it is. And I can't really help myself. So they get annoyed about it. And day by day, just kind of goes into each other, just keeps going and going and going, and there's no end process other than maybe getting stiffer or losing your posture more or losing your abilities, your body's ability to function really well and keep up its great uh, biodynamics that it's built with. So the challenge is, I suppose, finding time, or not finding time. You don't have to find it. You make time, just the way you make time to watch your favorite program or to take a moment to yourself. You make a little bit of time to mobilize your body and plan out the changes that you're going to do. So some people get a little bit worried because you're like, oh, how will I ever find the time or make the time? And there's so many things that I need to do. But a great example would be, so where do we feel a little bit stiff right now? Is it perhaps your lower back, or is it your wrists, or is it your hands or shoulders or neck? Or am I sitting loads? So is it my hips? Are the front of my hips tight? Can I even feel my ass when I'm walking? Are my glutes activated? Because that's a great feeling. And the feeling, if I could explain that, is if you ever see athletic people on the track and they have this quite glute dominated. Your glutes is your butt cheeks. So you have this great glute dominated walk, and they're really functioning, and that's that natural movement that we're born with. Only over time we kind of move less and we sit more, and a lot of people lose that function, and then it has a negative effect on different areas of your body because they have to work harder. So the solution is making the time and starting to do something about it. Uh, Finding someone who inspires you and can help you make these little changes. And it's just choosing one little area to work on and slowly improving there, and then slowly adding in another area and building on that, and that feeling of change and that feeling of the increase in mobility. It feels good. And it's important because, we want to increase the longevity of our life. We want to keep being able to do the things that we love for as long as possible. And when you look around and you see people who are maybe struggling, although it can be sad a little bit, you also have to feel good for yourself that you're not struggling as much and you're taking action and you're moving forward and you're being the difference. And you're not letting people around you bring you down just because you're out there making the difference. Don't feel bad about it. Never feel bad about it. Be the person who just does it in the moment because they can. Um, so I have some slides that I want to share, and if you don't mind, I'll take you through those right now. Really simple. My thing is I don't want to give you guys too much information, but hopefully there'll be one little nugget in here that might inspire you to make a little difference to your lifestyle, and you'll take it and you'll go and implement it, and it'll be amazing. And you'll notice differences right away in yourself if you start doing that, and you create the discipline to be consistent. Just like building a habit, like brushing your teeth, it's not really a habit. You do it all the time. So that's what you want to do when it comes to increasing your mobility so you can look, move, and feel better. Helen, how do I can I share then
Yes,
the
I've
screen?
made you co-host, so you should be able to share as though you've started the meeting yourself just by clicking on share from your end.
Okay, super. Let's find out.
Just let me know if you have any challenges.
Oh, we should have it. Give me one sec. Okay, here we go. Oh, so recently I've actually been doing an ad. I've been doing a tourism advert for Northern Ireland here. So for the last 3 weeks, I've done like 6 days where we've been around tourist sites, and I've had my pretend family with me, and we've been around just having fun and laughing, and yeah, it's been quite good fun. It's always good whenever you're getting brought to different hotels and getting fed, and what was actually really good was I got on really well with my fake family. So I did. And they were very like my own family. And we both had 4 kids, and they were
Oh,
all the same ages. We were both soccer moms and soccer dads, and we had a lot to talk about. So it was good crack.
yeah.
But I'm glad that it's over and I'm back to normality. So uh, I'm going to take you guys through this. Where are we? Present. Okay. So
Can Karen, Julia, you see that screen, the screen that's being shared? Yep, all good. Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Brian.
No problem. Uh, so this is me on a cold day at one of our we actually have some good great beaches here in Northern Ireland. But anyway, I'm performing an elbow lever, so I'm levering over my elbows and happen just to get a really good picture. And I think life, when you can become quite stuck in it, it's all about finding the key that will help unlock that. So, can you visualize yourself in like 6 months from now, feeling a little bit more mobile, a little bit stronger? You have that little spring in your step, and you're just feeling better about yourself, and you're taking a little bit of action. Because sometimes, even if you don't feel results coming yet, taking that bit of action starts some momentum. And we always have to think about the bigger picture because taking small steps, as they all add up, it creates big, big results. So small changes create the big results, and that's what's really important about changing your lifestyle or uh, making a difference. Why is it important? Because we want to play it for our grandchildren and our kids, and as I said before, just keep doing the things that we love. So I think it's important to get your self back to zero. And how do you do that? Well, the kind of simple things that always come up, and sometimes you hear people talking about this, and it was funny. I was having a conversation with some of the ladies in the crew that I was working on in the film set, and they were talking about this new supplement. Uh, was it MSN, I believe? It regenerates cells and things like that. Now, it's all good at taking some supplements, but if you're not looking at the other side of your lifestyle, if you're only interested in taking the supplement, this is what stood out for me. They're only interested in taking the supplement. They weren't interested in actually like, what's my nutrition like? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting good sunlight? Am I going out in the morning? Am I getting sunlight? Am I getting some in the afternoon or just when it's available to me? Uh, I kind of staying out of stressful situations when I can, or am I getting drawn into other people's kind of noise and drama? Uh, oh, there we go. And what else? Am I exercising? What am I doing to get rid of my stress? Because just taking the pill, it's not going to make the massive difference to you. You have to do the other stuff as well. And that's how I help people do it. So how do we get back to zero? Some things you could do. Uh, and I know Helen teach you guys nutrition, and that's amazing. We actually had a great conversation about it. But you could wake up in the morning, you could perhaps take some electrolytes. Electrolytes basically there's lots of supplement companies that sell that, but the main stuff that electrolytes is actually in just good salt. So it's like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium sulfate, and you get that in good, real, like salt flakes. I don't know if you have, you'll definitely have it in Australia, but you can go out and you get a little bit more expensive salt, little pinch of that, and it's the same thing. Basically, rather than maybe taking one that has lots of sugar, has like sweeteners and all stuff in it, just because you love that sweet taste, just put a little pinch in your water and you'll notice a difference. And it helps, helps your body wake up better. It helps replace some of the fluids that perhaps you lost when you were sleeping through sweating or exercise. And you'll notice a difference in yourself if you start just taking a little pinch of that in the morning. Maybe you take apple cider vinegar. You could do it with that. And again, that has lots of benefits as well. You can also stay off stimulants first thing in the morning. Our bodies have a system called the endocrine system. And what it does is release cortisol, and that helps wake you up. So if you get up straight away in the morning and you're right on the coffee, it's a stimulant, or if you're on some sort of supplement that helps get you going, you're not letting your endocrine system work the way it's meant to be. So if you could stay off supplement, or sorry, stay off the coffee or some caffeine for maybe an hour to an hour and a half. It'll help your system wake up properly. How do we wake up properly? If sun is available, get sun, get the lights on, get it into your eyes. Uh, Quick walk outside in nature, barefoot walking. I know obviously you guys have got the weather there. So and it's starting to get colder because it's starting to get warmer here. But barefoot walk on the grass, grounding, help yourself wake up a wee bit, mobilizing. I'm big on mobility, as maybe you guys have picked up. So a little bit of movement, maybe a couple little stretches, couple little simple things to help yourself wake up, hydrate better, electrolytes, and let your system waking you up properly. And it's a great feeling when that has. It's like light and day and you feel it happening. So it's important not to let that part of your system kind of fade out. I talked about staying out of stressful situations when you can. Also, being able to talk to someone is great. If you're holding something in, just sometimes what I do if I feel I'm a little bit stressed out or if I've got too much going on, I have like a brain dump. So I literally just get the page out, blank page, take myself away, and I write down what thoughts are in my head. And then I look at the list. Sometimes it might just be two things. Sometimes it might be five. I don't know. Sometimes more. But I look at my list and I put the most important one to the top and I relight it in the order and I go and tackle that most important one. And you feel instantly better. You feel less anxiety, you're less stressed, and you're taking action, which is the amazing thing because it's all good, listening to podcasts and listening to these experts and mentors and stuff telling you what you should and you shouldn't do. But the main thing is you got to take action. So let's say you get a few ideas, you got to go and take a little bit of action. Even if it's only 2 minutes, it's still going to make the difference. Um, and what's your bedtime routine like? Do you wind down at nighttime? What's your morning routine? We talked about morning there. So are you winding down at nighttime or are you still on your phone? Again, chatting to like some of the the guys and ladies I was with during the dinner on the filming set. They're telling me they're on TikTok or they're on Instagram for an hour before bed, just scrolling. So if you do that for more than like 10 minutes, it's basically called, well, we call it doomsday scrolling. And you're just scrolling, looking for that next kind of endorphin hit. How about you just get a natural endorphin hit and go and take a little bit of action? It could be baking, it could be doing a little bit of exercise, it could be just going and reading a book, turning on a little bit of music, but not just scrolling, looking at other people having a good time. You can only take in so much information. For that reason, I only allow my kids, well, I try really hard to only allow them to have 10 minutes of YouTube, and they don't like it, but it's each day, 10 minutes a day, because they can only take in so much information. And if they're on it for any long period of time, they come off cranky and they don't want to do stuff. And
Mm.
they if they know they can get it, they're not willing to just take a little bit of challenge first. And it's something that my wife and I are working on to make sure that they're embracing challenge and they're not just taking the easy route out. It's amazing when it happens, but you have to have patience. And that's something I feel I've got. I've got good patience and I'm quite happy to stand beside them. I've also got time and I can put it into them. I believe if I put my time into these guys, these kids, they're going to put it back into me when I'm older. Um, what else can you do? You can dim the lights. I mentioned reading. You can calm down. You can meditate. I don't know if anybody ever meditates. Sometimes we say, oh, la-di-da, meditating. But there's a lot of method in the madness. And you can sometimes you just set my phone for 5 minutes, countdown. Uh, in the morning, I like to get up first so I can get that 5 minutes to myself, whether I'm just being grateful for the day. I'm just happy that my family's healthy and I'm up and I'm helping people and I'm feeling fulfilled and I'm just thanking myself for the day. Let's go. Let's take some action. And just those few minutes before everybody gets up or they're all wanting your attention is really it's amazing and I'm trying to fit a couple minutes in to do that. So here's a real tip for your meditating. Um, Obviously, we're getting all these thoughts ping, ping, ping around your mind all the time. Especially, if you look at your phone, you get your phone out or you look on the laptop or you're on WhatsApp or social media, it's just constantly. So if you meditate and you set your timer for 5 minutes and you just focus on your breathing and you try and push these thoughts away. So my kind of tip there is I'm just taking deep breaths. I might be nasal breathing. I'm not getting too crazy deep into it, but all the thoughts keep pinging into your head. And what I try to imagine I'm doing is I'm swimming, and every time I, I like swim through the waves are like thoughts, and I'm just pushing it out of my way. And in there somewhere, and it's hard work. I promise it's hard work because there's so many thoughts coming. But eventually, you find a little moment of calmness, and you're not thinking about anything, and it's amazing. It's really good. So I would say try and do that a few times a week if you can, if you got the time. You might even be thinking about, your day. If you do it at nighttime or you're doing it in the morning, how you might take a couple of moments and think, okay, what am I really going to put my energy into today? And how do I want to be and perform? Or you're just looking for that complete silence, a complete moment where you're not thinking about anything. And it's great if you can find it. So there's some great ways to calm down. So bringing out your best, how to do that? Find like-minded people who really want to have the same sort of lifestyle. They're putting their health first, their fitness first, they're putting nutrition first. They're keen on picking things that their body are really going to benefit from. And they're not just go if they went to the shop, they're just not going to buy a load of junk food. They're going to buy things that are going to give them energy and help them perform better and feel better about themselves. When it comes to that, in a world where like ultra processed food and processed food is everywhere you look, the food industry is like driving stuff down. They're driving refined sugar into your mind. Eat it. This is amazing. This is what's going to give you energy. You have signs for like protein cheese and protein milk and all. Protein's already in those things. You don't have to go out of your way to find those protein bars and stuff. You can just eat real food. There's so much nutrition in like red meat. Some people aren't really into it. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but over here, over the last like 10 years, lots of propaganda and bad, negative uh, feedback from the food industry, vegans, vegetarians, all kind of made people feel that they could only eat red meat over here once a week. And came right from the top. If you really look into it, came from the food industry and it filtered all the way down into our healthcare system. And it's only now that these ideas have been kind of debunked, and all of a sudden people are telling you, oh, well, eggs are healthy now. You can eat loads of them. Red meat is healthy for you. It's full of nutrition. It's actually packed with it. So if you eat it, you're going to feel better no matter what. And the great thing about, let's say beef, for example, uh, they're generally natural. And for most, maybe 80, 90% of their life, they're outside and they're eating grass. But if you're only eating maybe chicken, you're eating white meat or pork, well, they're generally not fed their true diet. So they're fed grains and uh, what do they get, like steroids and all sorts of stuff to growth hormones, and they're not eating their true diet. There's what's their true diet. If you're free range, you're out rummaging and you're eating slugs and bugs and grass and all that. If you're not eating that style of food and you're eating just the grains and not their natural diet, so you're not getting the nutrition that you should be. It's the same with pork as well. And that big problems with fish. If you're on the Gold Coast, I'm sure that you're maybe getting lots of fresh fish, but at the same time, there's lots of fish farms and so on, and these fish are just having their lifestyle, swimming about in their own dirt, and they're being fed antibiotics and stuff to stay alive. And well, that just can't be too good for us, especially if you're eating loads of it. Uh, so I think that's really good ways to bring out your best. Find people who are also interested, take little bits of action, maybe go to a fitness class, go to a stretching mobility class, try and be active, try and get out and go for little walks, getting sunlight, and having laughs and finding that inspirational tribe of people who want to feel better will make a big difference to your lifestyle. Also, learning a new skill is always good. Perhaps you're just taking up piano. Are you going for singing lessons even though you can't sing? Or you're learning chess, it's keeping your brain just ticking over and firing. Those are great things that you can do to make yourself feel fulfilled and feel better. Um, and I think it's really interesting. Oh, about to fall there. Really interesting if you can do something like that, or you're into hiking and walking, and perhaps You can't run, but you'd like to, and you'd like to build up that athletic performance and get that back. There's a great stat that came out not too long ago, and it's like people after the age of 30, there's only like 10% who will ever sprint again. So everyone just stops sprinting. They never sprint, so they never go fast. And then your body loses that ability to be explosive and run fast when it really shouldn't. And it's something that you can keep and train. I actually work with a sprint coach. So after I got to around 30, I was generally quite fast. You know, at one point when I played rugby, I was a forward and I was second fastest on this rugby team of 15 players. So I had a winger who was faster than me, but I was faster than the other winger. But over the years, you kind of lose the kind of technique and you lose your biomechanics of moving the way it's meant to move, that natural run that you just look at some people and you're like, whoa, they've got a really good run. I don't know if you see that or I notice. And then you look at someone who's out jogging and they're all over the place or they're all hunched and they're probably, although they feel good and they're doing exercise, they're probably doing more damage to their body than they're doing good because their posture's not right, or they're maybe perhaps not moving their arms and they're just looking at the ground and they're not having hip extension. So hip extension is bringing your knee, you know, your knee's not coming high enough when you're running and you're running out the back. So you have very little movement through your legs. It's literally like your feet are just firing out the back. I don't know if anybody ever watched Friends in the 90s, the American sitcom. They're one of the Friends where Phoebe, she was the Phoebe and she had a Phoebe run and the legs were all out the back. It's a joke we have going on here still. And anybody who were 90s kids, they'll remember that. Uh, so I work with a sprint coach. I've learned how to run better and regain that movement. And I became really stiff and awkward and really rigid when I was running, but learning how to move properly again has made such a difference than with sprinting. I've actually got faster. Maybe not just as fast as I was when I was 27, but my early 30s, I've got faster all of a sudden. I have a great acceleration and I've started to go back. I play soccer generally just for fun, but I've started to play a few games of rugby again because I'm fit and able, and I actually need 25 appearances or 22 to get an award for my club, and you get a wee hat and award and stuff. So I'm trying to get those ticked off while I still can. So um, there's a big thing as well. You know, we have holiday fitness, and some people when they go away on holiday, uh, if the whole health and fitness and thing, it's not part of your lifestyle, it's not part of who you are yet. Well, you go away on holiday, you eat what you want, you kind of, you know, drink what you want, perhaps, or you overindulge. And I'm not saying not to do that, but you should still go out of your way to make yourself feel a bit better, whether that's that little bit of uh, mobility you might do, the free stretches, being active, getting some really good food in. And let's say you know you're going out for a big event and you're going to overindulge. Well, can you not maybe fast up to a couple hours before that? Fasting's amazing. I'm sure Helen's perhaps taught you about that, but uh, let your body, you know, regenerate, let your cells regenerate. And it means you're not always working, your body's not working to break down food. And once you get past the initial uh, phase of like your body crying out for food, because it's used to you feeding it, right? It's used to you feeding it. So inside your brain, it's like, give me more food, give me more sugar. But once you get past that and you realize that you're not going to die and you're actually all right, over maybe 2 week period, you start to use your fat cells as energy. So people have heard of ketosis. Uh, it turns your fat cells into ketones and it starts to use this as energy. So fat has more calories than carbohydrates. And when you're able to use that, you have this great energy that doesn't peak. It just kind of stays the same. So part of my nutrition coaching, sometimes I would tell people to stay off sugar until a certain part of the day. And eventually they find that zone that I'm talking about. And it's great. Now, the difference is you might wake up and you might have toast or you have cereal or porridge. I'm not sure. Something that breaks down into sugar. And when you have that in your diet, it makes you spike. So you get that little energy increase. But an hour later, you start to dip down. Maybe you're reaching for coffee or a stimulant. Or you're thinking, I'm hungry again and I want more food. And that's then to bring you back up. So it's like peaks and troughs. Uh, so holiday fitness. I think it's really important to, again, keep the fitness side up, go and exercise, do put your nutrition first, but of course, enjoy yourself, relax a bit, uh, overindulge, eat the extra piece of cake or whatever you're having, and, enjoy your life. Definitely don't completely go away and feel like you're being a complete bore when it comes to letting yourself loose a little bit. Um, so, I want to teach people that there's no real difference to when you go on holiday than whenever you're at home because it's become part of your lifestyle and you become a little bit obsessed about it because feeling good is obsessive. And when you feel good, when you do things to feel good, you become obsessed. If you wake up and you're tired and you're a bit stiff, and once you get into the hang of doing little things to make yourself feel a little better, bit better, even if it's only a couple of percent, feeling better, it's obsessive, and learning how to do that is key, and that's what I teach. Um, so why should you do it now? Well, we only have so many days on this earth, and taking that bit of action makes a difference, whether it's you in your social circle, you can inspire others, you can be the one leading from the front, always out there doing something, being active, getting after something, learning something new. You can be the inspiration in your family. You can, again, be more active, do more things with them, have more fun with your loved ones. You're saying yes to more. Ultimately, you're being able to do more. Or in your workplace with your career, again, you're taking action, you're feeling good, you're mobilizing your body, you're eating better, you're having better energy, you're being more productive, you're feeling better about yourself. And just in this world that kind of closes us down into a little box, it's really important to do that. Um, and why would you do it with me? Well, I have been a coach for 15 years and I've become obsessed with helping people and getting results with people. And even if sometimes we get immediate results, but sometimes with people's lifestyles, it takes longer. They may be really, really busy. So I have worked out a way through my framework and my own signature model to just make tiny, tiny changes and build that into your lifestyle. Just for example, I'm working with a really busy corporate man, and he was overweight and he was tired. And the first thing we kind of did was we looked into the mobility and moving, and all of a sudden he feels a bit better. He's not stiff anymore. He knows what to do when he's been hunched over his computer for long periods of time. He's got a standing desk and he's feeling better. But he still wants to lose weight, but we can't tackle everything at the same time because it's too much for him and he's so busy and you become overwhelmed. So once I help teach him this through my little master classes that I give on habits and nutrition or weight loss, fitness, movement, mobility, strength, and when we look into those different areas, slowly but surely they all kind of come together and just become one and they become part of you. So we slowly implemented things in his lifestyle, and even sometimes he would dip and disappear out of it. I was there to ask him some perhaps difficult questions to make him question his motives, like why did he join my mentorship in the first place? And if you're really committed, well, then you're happy to answer these questions. You're happy to take the plunge to make the difference because long term, it's going to make the difference. And the bigger picture is that healthier, happier, looking better, feeling better, and moving better lifestyle. So fast forward 2 years, he's now down at 96 kilograms. Before he was up around a 110. So that's like nearly 2 stone. I think in a stone there's around 16 pounds. So he's done so well, and every time how do I manage this? Well, I have an app, and add things into his lifestyle. It's basically like a calendar and little things that'll tell you how long it takes, what it is, and there's like a video to go with it. And over time, he's getting results. So it's not always about I have to do all this in 3 months, but sometimes for some people it just takes longer. Uh, and yeah, this is me and my friend, and we're doing another elbow lever over some bars on a more sunnier day. So yeah, that is me. Thank you so much. I have some great contact details if I've inspired you in any way, and you want to ask me some questions about that, you can direct message me on social media. That's actually my mobile number. It should say +44 there because I'm in the UK. But you can message me on social, LinkedIn or Instagram. I know Helen's going to share those things with you. Or I have this amazing complimentary 7-day fix, I call it. And over 7 days, I'll give you one video and it'll teach you about mobilizing a certain part of your body and where to start. Each video has a progression, so what might be a little bit more difficult, and each one has an easier version, just depending where you're at, and I explain why it's important. And no matter what, you're going to get value from it. It's complimentary. I'm not looking at anything from it apart from you taking a wee bit of action and feeling better. And if I find out that you've done that, you let me know. Amazing. I'm going to feel so much better about it. There's a link for that, and you just put your email in, and it gives you that little bit of information over 7 days. So thanks so much for listening. I hope I didn't give you guys too much information. Uh, it's really been great to be on and chat to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Did you want to stop sharing the screen so we can see each other in the middle of the
Yes.
screen? And I wanted to ask you a question before anyone else is welcome to ask as well. You mentioned about the corporate person. We've been sitting here listening. I've been actually sitting down since 6:45. Had a meeting at 7 that I ran, and then 8 o'clock. And a lot of my work is sitting down as well. What are some tips that you can offer us? Because we are because we do position ourselves in that seated position for a lot of the day, whether it's driving kids, at work, driving home, whatever that is. What are some exercises that you can suggest to fix the ailments, which is normally lower back, tight groin? If I'm correct, I can be wrong.
No, no, you've hit the nail on the head. A lot of the people that I work with, they're sitting for 8 to 12, sometimes 16 hours a day, or they get up in the morning and they sit down with their cup of tea or whatever they're having, and then they're driving their kids to school or they're driving to work and they're sitting down, and then they're at work and they're sitting down, and then when they get home, they might even go to the gym and do spin, which is like cycling, and you're sitting down, you're in this kind of awkward position. Yes, you might get up on your legs, but you're still in this position that's not really opening your hips. It's not making you move naturally. Uh, then you get home and you're really tired and you're having dinner and you're sitting down, and you know where I'm going with this. You're sitting down and after, and then at bedtime you're going to sleep. So, right, so hips in my little sequence, you're going to find out about this stuff. But what can I give you? Let me see. The thing is, my camera doesn't like zoom out
That's
very
okay.
well.
You can just
Will you be
explain the
able to
best you
see
can.
me? So you could get up and, you know, let me just get down to this sort of position. I'm really big into like mobilizing your wrists, okay? So you could grab, let's pretend this is like a, let's pretend this is a bottle, and you could simply do this with your wrist. So a small bottle or a can or something, and you're mobilizing your wrist like this. So I'm flexing it, and then, or sorry, I'm extending it, and then I'm flexing it, and you do the opposite. And then you go from the side. And that's actually just strengthening your wrists. It's a little weight, it's really light. It could be 1 kg, it could be under, but they're going to make your wrists feel better. You can also go to the wall and simply just push them backwards and forwards and just stretch them a little bit. That's really good for your wrist, especially if you're typing. There's loads more you could do that with that. I'd love to send you over a video which explains it better. because it's okay me telling you this, but you might even forget the time you're
These
off.
these are just snippets, and we've got the recording, so it's great. It's just
Perfect.
snippets that we can do.
If you are sitting for a long period of time, you're driving, the first thing generally I do when I get up, if I can grab my heel, you'll have seen these before, but you're just pulling it. We're not going to stay in this static position, all right? We're going to pull it dynamically, pull your heel to your butt, do the opposite one, and you're getting this nice dynamic stretch. Now, if you haven't got the balance to do that, we'll just stand at a wall and do it. Don't make that an excuse. Now I might do the opposite, and I pull my knee to my chest, and that's going to give me a nice stretch around the glutes. It's going to pull in my hamstring, and it's going to get a little bit of the relief of tension on my lower back. But you're stretching basically the front and the back of your hips, and that sometimes, if you're really tight here, your hips start to tilt a wee bit, and they've tilted, and your butt's kind of coming up, and you're getting this pressure here. That's going to help. Just really simple. Just kind of open that up a bit. This is a funny one to do, because like not everybody's comfortable with sticking their ass out, all right? But stuff it. You're like against the wall, and you put your hands up against the wall. You can't see my legs, but I'm gonna go as wide as I can, right? I'm gonna go as wide as I can. Let's do that. And I'm sticking my butt out, and I'm trying to keep my arms up, and I'm just relaxing and keep my head down between. If you never do this type of stretch, don't force it around your shoulders, but do try and push your arms nice and straight, really straight, and get that kind of overhead stretch position. I get my legs wide, and I'm just gently put in that kind of position. In the videos, I'm going to explain that stretch. Definitely check that out. Again, you're at the computer, you're hunched, and you're doing this sort of stuff, and then you get up and you're all stiff around the top of your back. That has a big effect on your lower back because your upper back's not moving properly. You can also get the thing, we call it tech neck. So technology, you're at the computer, you're sticking your neck out. And then, I don't know if you see teenagers these days, but they're walking about like this on their phone. And it's so sad because they're missing what's going on around them. And then they have this terrible posture that they bring into their school life, and it follows them, and then it plagues them with neck issues and shoulder issues. And I've just seen it firsthand. So I created some drills that you can do for your neck, and you're simply bringing it in like in the videos. Let's say you're in the car, right? So we're in the car and we're driving. I kind of straighten my arms. Some physios might have told you this before, but I'm driving, holding the steering wheel, and naturally my neck starts to go like this, especially if you're used to that position. What I'm doing is driving it back against the headrest, right? So I'm driving it back and I'm keeping my chin down because that's my neutral position. What you can find is we hunch in the car and then we tilt our head up like this, all right, to try and counter what's going on because nobody wants to hunch like that when they're driving. But if you do this, keep your chin in and you squeeze it back a little bit, it's going to help strengthen your neck a little bit, and you're going to feel that between your shoulder blades, and it's awesome. You'll definitely feel a difference, especially if you're on a little drive. Can you not do that? Those are some tips. I hope I didn't give you too much, but that's a little bit for your neck, a little bit for your hips, the groin one where you got your legs wide overhead, and there's loads of more stuff you could do, but you could just do the one thing like each day for a week, couple of weeks, and you'll feel so much better with that, and then look into learning something new. And I
Thank
talk all
you.
about that on that little complimentary thing, so check it out.
Alrighty, thank you. You can see why I asked Brian to talk because when he really gets into the exercise, he just lights up like a beacon. I love it. The enthusiasm is great. Does anyone,
Thank you.
thank you for those tips because it's something that everyone can really implement straight away. And like you're saying, that's that small start. You've got that 7-day little giveaway, which send me the link. I'll put into the email as well that people can access. But these are the classic problems that people start with. And when they get that slight bit of mobility that you're referring to, it inspires them to want more and get more out of their body as well. So it's always about making it that small start.